Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. So here I am again with another DVD haul. Anybody that's perhaps familiar with my channel will see that I find quite a lot of DVDs at thrift stores. And it's got to the stage now where I've got so many DVDs that when I go into a thrift store, I'm kind of wondering, should there be some kind of sanity clause? But then I find a Marx Brothers movie and then I'm reminded, hey, you can't fool me, there ain't no sanity clause. Okay, bad beginning, but here's the first thing I found, which is the Marx Brothers Room Service and At the Circus. And also Go West and The Big Store. One I've watched some time ago, but not for a while, Arlington Road. And again, it's been a while since I've seen this one from Duncan Jones, starring Sam Rockwell, Moon. Remember that time in young Hollywood in the 80s when we had actors wanting to be cowboys and things like Young Guns, and then we also had the likes of Christian Slater and Richard Grieco wanting to be mobsters. In the 60s we had Frankie Avalon and Annette Funicello doing a series of beach party movies, and this is one of the sequels, How to Stuff a Wild Bikini. Now in the past few months I've been picking up a little bit more anime. I picked up the Cowboy Bebop series not so long ago, and in this particular find I have got these, which is Akira Kurosawa's Samurai 7, the complete series here. So it's like 4 episodes to a disc. There's 26 episodes in all. Quite unusual designs this. So based on Akira Kurosawa's 7 Samurai, but this is a futuristic anime version that involves sort of robots as well. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what this will be like, but yeah, I do think the animation style is quite interesting. Let me know if you have seen Samurai 7. I was pleased to find this. This is Dominic and Eugene, or when I saw it originally it was called Nicky and Gino. Really nice film this, with Tom Hulce, who was in Amadeus, as this kind of slow-witted guy. He'd been involved in a motor accident, I think, that had affected his cognition skills, but he's the kind of breadwinner still in the family, and his brother there, Ray Liotta, is trying to be a medical student, and then their sort of family dynamic gets affected when Ray Liotta meets Jamie Lee Curtis. But yeah, this was quite a good film, this, if I remember, but a long time since I've seen it. 4 films here with Eleanor Powell, a few musicals. One of these, Born to Dance, has got James Stewart in it, and then Broadway Melody of 1938 has got Judy Garland, and Broadway Melody of 1940, Fred Astaire. And going back to the 80s, I've got a bit of classic British TV, which is Brideshead Revisited. This starring Jeremy Irons and Anthony Andrews, but also with a cast that includes the likes of Sir Laurence Olivier and John Gielgud. Yeah, this was huge on TV back in the 80s. And then over to American TV, back in the 70s, there was this one, Rich Man, Poor Man, starring Peter Strauss and Nick Nolte. And this is significant for being the first long-form dramatic mini-series that was on TV. So it came a year before Roots, but also has actually the same co-director, Boris Sagal. So yeah, this was the first time on American TV that there'd been this long-form dramatic mini-series where they put the episodes into 60-minute episodes. And also I got this one, 4 Ed Sullivan shows featuring the Rolling Stones. This is all from 1965. And the thing I like about this is that it's not just the Rolling Stones that are featured in this, it's the whole episode. So you've got the likes as well of loads of other performers. You've got Morecambe and Wise, for instance, doing sketches. There's Joan Rivers and Robert Goulet, Louis Armstrong, Petula Clark, Hal Holbrook doing Lincoln's second inaugural speech. So yeah, there's quite a lot that's interesting in this one. Then I got this BBC series from the 90s, which is Invasion Earth. starring the late Fred Ward here. And this one was written by Jed Mercurio, and he is definitely well known to a lot of British audiences for writing Line of Duty, the really tense police series, and also Bodyguard, which has been on Netflix. But yeah, this one involves scientists discovering a UFO crash and it then being a sort of investigation into aliens at war with each other. So yeah, I've not seen this one, but it sounds very, very interesting. When my sister did her top 25 movies of the 80s, I couldn't believe that I didn't actually have in my collection this one, Robin Williams' Good Morning Vietnam. And I found this one, The Clash, West Way to the World. This is directed by Don Letts, a documentary on The Clash. Many versions of Great Expectations. My favourite is still David Lean's version from the 1940s, but I thought I'd pick this one up. This one features Gillian Anderson as Mrs. Havisham, and this was a time in the early 2010s when it really started confusing men who had sexual fantasies about Gillian Anderson, because now she was playing an older woman. What's going on here? And then later on she goes and plays Mrs. Thatcher. Very confusing for men. But this one also features a young Vanessa Kirby as well, before she got the role in The Crown and then went on to be in the Mission Impossible movies. Then back with music, I got this one, Stevie Ray Vaughan, live in Austin, Texas. Fantastic guitarist, Stevie Ray Vaughan. Back with TV again, and I managed to pick up season 1 and 2 and also season 3 of Yellowstone. Now when I find things like this, I mean, when they're very, very cheap, I just think, okay, I might as well grab them then. I mean, I've seen Yellowstone on Amazon, but the annoying thing with Yellowstone on Amazon is that they stopped playing it after season 4, and you then have to subscribe to Paramount Plus to be able to see season 5, and I don't want all these streaming services. So yeah, that makes me a bit obstinate. So yeah, if I find them, great. So really pleased to have these. I'll watch these again, and I will get to season 5 at some stage. Now, I love Hayley Mills and I love Africa, so what better than to find Hayley Mills in Africa in this classic from the 80s, which is The Flame Trees of Thika. And this was directed by Roy Ward Baker, who directed A Night to Remember and also Quatermass and The Pit. Nothing so scary in this. This is a drama. And I picked up this PBS adaptation of Les Miserables, this one starring Dominic West and Lily Collins and David Oyelowo. Now I must admit I've got a few versions of Les Miserables in my collection, and a few of them I still haven't watched. And I think it's a little bit of a psychological thing for me. When I used to live in the UK and go up to London, I would regularly walk past the theatre where Les Miserables was playing. We used to call it the Glums. Yeah, so I've never actually seen that play, but yeah, I guess it's just something I associate with. And so this is a dramatic adaptation. I did watch some of the musical version. I didn't really enjoy it that much, but yeah, maybe the dramatic version will be good. Next up is this one, Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown, from Pedro Almodovar. Now this is, I think, the only Almodovar movie that I've actually seen in the cinema. But yeah, I enjoyed it very much. I look forward to seeing it again. And I also picked up The Princess and the Warrior, which is directed by Tom Twyker, who did Run Lola Run, and this film reunites him with that same film's actress, Franca Potente, who was also in The Bourne Identity. And Cillian Murphy may be the man of the moment in Oppenheimer right now in cinemas. Great movie. But he looked very different in Neil Jordan's Breakfast on Pluto. Back with TV, and it's a series from 1990 that I remember coming on TV, but I didn't actually watch it at the time. But definitely it won a few awards and it was quite a big event, and that is Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit. So this was a kind of lesbian story to an extent that also involves the clergy, and we've got the great Kenneth Cranham playing a priest in this. And then I did see this on HBO, but it was really good. Great performance from Kate Winslet, Mayor of Easttown. Back with TV, and I was really thrilled to find this one, and I told my family about it and they couldn't remember having seen it at all. But this was a huge event back in the 80s. Please, someone tell me you know this. This was Bob Peck in Edge of Darkness. Really gripping thriller, this one. That also had Joanne Whalley in it and Joe Don Baker. And a couple of things about this is the music score for this was done by Eric Clapton and Michael Kamen, and the two of them then got the calling card to go and do the music soundtrack for the Lethal Weapon movies. And then also this is directed by Martin Campbell. He is the director who went on to do GoldenEye, James Bond movie, and that also led him to bring back Joe Don Baker for that movie. And then Martin Campbell did actually remake the Edge of Darkness TV series as a movie, and this time he did it in America with Mel Gibson. And then just by coincidence, I've got two versions of Edge of Darkness, and now here's a completely different one, Errol Flynn box set here that includes a movie, Edge of Darkness, no relation to the other two I've just shown you. But yeah, this is a really nice set that features 4 Errol Flynn movies. We've got Desperate Journey, Edge of Darkness, Northern Pursuit, Uncertain Glory, and Objective Burma. So 5 movies, sorry, not 4. Nice looking set, this one. And then 2 vampiric movies from director Timur Bembankatov, who also has done such bizarre movies as, what was it, Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Killer, or something like that. But yeah, Day Watch and Night Watch. And a couple of Blu-rays. I have got Johnny Handsome here with Mickey Rourke. This is a Walter Hill movie, also with Morgan Freeman and Forrest Whitaker and Ellen Barkin. Not a great movie, but it is Walter Hill. Of course, I'm going to have it in my collection. And then this triple pack here. We've got Rutger Hauer sort of channeling Zatoichi in Blind Fury, and Chuck Norris here in Silent Rage. And the one I'm particularly interested in seeing is Jan Michael Vincent here in White Line Fever. And then finally, back with TV, and I was quite pleased to find this, and it is Miami Vice, the complete seasons. So yeah, all 5 seasons here. Really pleased to find these. I mean, this was just such a great series back in the 80s, and it reminds me of when I went to Florida. It was the first time I'd been on a vacation by myself, and I remember going to a mall and I wanted to try and find a jacket that would make me look a little bit like Sonny Crockett, and of course I neither had the budget to buy any expensive clothing, nor could I find anything quite like that, but I did come away with some kind of shiny black material sports jacket thing that had Fleck in it, and I tried to convince myself that I looked quite cool, but obviously I didn't. But yeah, that was quite fun. But yeah, Miami Vice was just so good, all the music in it, and it just reminds you as well of just so many people that just had guest starring roles early on in their career. So you've got Bruce Willis in this, Liam Neeson is in this, Benicio del Toro, Julia Roberts, James Brown, so loads of guest stars in shows like this. So yeah, it's I picked this up very cheaply, so I'm glad to have it. Okay, so there you go, quite a lot there, a lot of movies and a lot of TV series as well, so a lot to get through. I don't know when I'm going to do that, but yeah, let me know your thoughts on these ones. Let me know if you've seen them, if you would choose them yourself, or if you think I'm nuts. Okay, please do join me again for some more videos. I will be back just talking about general movies, and I hope to see you again. Okay, all the best, bye bye.